Writing's not that easy, but Grammarly can help. This sentence is grammatically correct.
All right, and now can you hear my voice? Can you hear me speaking now? All right, cool. All right, so I figured out how to do that. So don't mind the interesting techno music. I was basically just looking for music to test it out. This actually is the remix of one of the most fascinating stories around awful video games of my childhood, where these people were making illegal video games for the old Nintendo systems that they had no permission to make, had really awesome music, totally didn't work right. And its legacy is only that it has this cool theme music, but the game itself is broken and awful. So I just knew it had no words, and I wasn't going to get in trouble for accidentally throwing a swear out there or something. So good morning. I hope everybody is doing okay. I just wanted to make sure that I had the ability to actually play audio over top of my streams, not just my voice. The software program that I use to stream on YouTube is actually the same software that a lot of YouTubers and Twitch streamers and stuff use, called OBS, but it's not something that I'm super fluent in, and so I'm still working out the kinks as far as figuring it all out. So, good morning, welcome to day 3. I hope everybody is doing well out there. I had a hard time sleeping last night, and I saw thunder and lightning. Well, I saw lightning. I heard thunder over in my neck of the woods. I don't know if any of you had storms further to the east. Obviously, my home is on the border of Markham and Pickering, and so I'm a little bit further to the west than most of you guys and gals are. So I hope that it was a peaceful night. I hope everyone got a good night's sleep. I get a kick, and a few of you send me notes every morning saying, I'm up, I'm here, because I totally feel you. Like, I am dragging most mornings now. My kids are dragging, and, we're just one foot in front of the other, and hopefully we'll get through it. So I hope that everybody has been going through the Google Classroom and taking a look at the feedback that I've been sending you on the chapter questions and the summaries for Little Brother. So I'm just going to bring up the Google Classroom here so that we take a look. Okay, we'll go to the classroom section. And so obviously I do move things around as time goes on, just to stay organized, right? So for example, if you're still looking for the IM poetry down here, here it is right here. It's in the older work section, okay? So if you hadn't finished that off yet, you can find it there. Again, fundamental literacy. This is where the advanced sentence corrections from the first bit is there. And then yesterday's work has been moved here. If anything sort of goes over multiple days, like for example, the grammar sheets and the literacy test practice, I left them in today's work, okay? So there will be some sort of flex going on in terms of where things move around to. But overall, Just keep an eye out for where things are. Click on it. Make sure that you've got some feedback. Make sure that you have a note on there. The literacy test practice itself, it's really just a case of you just giving me some feedback about how it went. In our second week together, we'll go through the whole test together, so you'll see exactly how I would approach and go through it. Okay, so but most important now is just to give yourself some exposure to it, and then just let me know that you've done it. It literally is the honor system. You go and have an experience with it. Let me know what sort of problems you have so that I can plan my approach to going through it together. Okay? All right. So, scrolling down to the summaries and the chapter questions from yesterday. Okay, so this one, as you can see, there's still 4 people sitting as assigned. That means that there are 4 people out there that have yet to submit this work. And it is a pre-reading activity, and so it is very much a what's your personal take on in terms of privacy and making you think about some of the big themes or ideas of the story. So don't hesitate to answer it. And most of the time when I'm giving you feedback that says like, look, this question is asking you to do more than just give me a one sentence answer, or I might prompt you to say, you've used words that are very much your own interpretation, but I don't necessarily understand what those words mean, and I'll be prompting you to add more. The first chapter questions are a completion mark. So even if I put in there that right now it's a level 2 or right now it's a level 3, in the grade book it will be marked as 100%, okay? Because it is a completion mark. Same with the summaries, okay? I have 6 listed as not yet submitting this work. So for the summaries, the goal is to not just retell the story, but to talk about how certain plot points either show you some character traits, allow you to infer deeper meaning and understanding of how a character thinks, acts, and believes in the world. Thinking about inciting incidents or issues of conflict or just general deeper senses of what these characters mean. So you shouldn't be doing all narrative retelling with no character analysis, and you shouldn't only be doing character analysis without connecting them to plot points. So it is a matter of working out the sort of process and structure of it. And so chapters 1 and 2 is completion mark. Chapters 3 and 4 will be completion mark. You very well make chapters 5 and 6 completion mark, depending on how things are going. Okay? But overall, the goal is for you to get a feedback from me saying either you're almost there or you're there. That's the goal. If you're getting feedback from me that says, think about it like this, think about it like that, change this, or rethink this, the hope is that you're not just taking that feedback and going, forget it. Okay? You're going to take it and you're going to apply that feedback to either the next set of chapters or, even better, redoing and adding to the chapter work that you've already done. Okay? Because I will go back and do it. Okay? If you don't want to do that, I'm not going to make you do it, right? You need to want to get better. So the completion mark is there for this. If you've submitted it, you got 100% on it. I put it in the grade book in EDSB. But if you want to take my feedback and perfect it and make sure that you've got it perfect before you move on to chapters 3 and 4, please take my feedback and fix it up, okay? But whoever these 6 people are, obviously I'm not going to click on it in the group here. You need to check it out, okay? For Hair Love, 2 people have not submitted this work yet, okay? Again, the questions that I'm asking you when I'm sending you feedback are mostly like, thank you for being, offering some thoughtful responses and so on, looking for more than one sentence answers, and most importantly, trying to key you towards thinking in a broader sense of just how atypical it is for media to create Black families that have relationships more reflective of reality, whereas typically, they tend to be dysfunctional or having bigger issues. That is a systemic issue that exists in our society, that people don't find stories where families that look like that act in a sort of loving, normal way. That is something that is not typical. And so that's why hair love is so amazing. Okay. So just popping back to the chat, checking to see if there's any questions before I move on. Okay. Seeing none. All right. If you haven't said good morning yet in the chat, please do so. All right. So moving on to here. Okay. You've still got your grammar sheets that are ongoing. I did not expect any to say turned in yet because obviously we're doing 2 a day all the way through. Okay. The one about changing informal writing to formal, that is definitely the hardest one, and it is the most unusual. Okay. So in the stream of the class, I've posted a link right here. Okay. So it says some folks are finding the active versus passive worksheet challenging. Here's an article to help. I may do a full lesson on this in the future before we get too deep into it, but I just wanted to show you some examples, right? So for example, it says active voice examples: monkeys adore bananas, the cashier counted the money, the dog chased the squirrel. So the subject of the sentence acts on something else. That's active voice. Okay, passive voice is bananas are adored by monkeys. Okay, so this is not the subject of the sentence. It's still the monkeys doing something, right? But it's backwards, right? So the money was counted by the cashier. The squirrel was chased by the dog. Okay, so it's asking you to take these things and think about who is really doing the act, okay? And making sure that that person or thing that is doing the act comes first. So give it a try and see how it goes. Oh, the rain has restarted here. Good thing I decided not to sit outside. Okay. So I've also put the literacy test practice still there, as you can see. Okay. Please just send me a note and let me know how it went. Okay. We also have another short media task called Dear Basketball, which is the farewell video for Kobe Bryant when he retired as a basketball player. Again, an award-winning cartoon that totally reshaped the narrative around. Oh, I hear thunder too. I apologize if I go dark. It's power failure, so I apologize. So when it comes to changing the narrative structures around, black athletes and how they feel and how they think and how they act, right? LeBron James has taken a lot of heat for being an outspoken critic of some of the political realities of his country, as well as the Black Lives Matter movement. So we're seeing a shift in our culture around how these people have been represented in our lives and in our media. And this Dear Basketball does a great job at doing that. So please watch it. It's only 4 minutes long, and there's some questions to answer, okay? Including a short little bonus question, okay? So again, thinking more than just one sentence answers, thinking about what's your point, what's your proof, and what's your comment about this, okay? We then have summaries, exactly the same structure as last time, okay? Oops, apologize. So those should work fine. I'll double check to make sure the attachment is there. I'm not seeing any attachment right there, so I may have to fix that. So bear with me. Okay. Little Brother Chapter 3 questions and Chapter 4 questions are slightly different than last time, where they're actually dealing with the sort of meat and potatoes of the story. So I'm going to go over each one of them in detail. Okay. So this is your chart for Chapter 3. It is mostly a completion mark, but obviously, again, if I'm sending you feedback to add to it, the go back and fix is not an option this time. This is something that I really need you to do. This is an inference exercise. And again, we've been talking about the word inference a fair bit already in this course. So it says the phrase reading between the lines means making inferences, reading the words that are written, and then figuring out what is intended but not exactly said. In the spaces below, pick some things that people say in the chapter, and then write what they mean but were not saying. At the bottom of the page, write a general conclusion your opinion about how honest people are being when they speak to each other in this chapter. I'm fine with you actually going back and looking at chapters 2 and chapter 1, because I feel like especially the interactions between the principal and the main character offers lots of reading between the lines opportunities. Okay? So really, even though it says chapter 3, I'm going to call this up to chapter 3. Okay? So I've given you the option to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I would be content with 5, okay? With some conclusion. Okay? So you note down the character's name and what they say. You don't have to write out the whole quote. You can just summarize it or paraphrase it and keep it short, and then explain what you are inferring by what they actually mean. So if somebody is being sarcastic and they mean the opposite of what they're actually saying, then please note that. Okay? So 5 examples would be great. Okay? And then some conclusion. So let me just write that down for those people who are not here right now. Oh, need to go back. Okay, so sorry, back into the course classwork. Right, edit. Okay. So please do a minimum of 5 examples. There we go. So it is officially in the instructions, just so that you can see it. Okay. Save. Okay. So that's chapter 3. Okay. That is the work that is expected to be completed today for chapter 3. Obviously, you need to read chapter 3 and 4 today as well. Chapter 4 says due tomorrow. Okay, so this is work that is going to exist today and tomorrow. Okay, so viewing the assignment. Oh, sorry, clicked on the thing again. All right. So, chapter 4, a little more research. Marcus and Severe Haircut Woman, great name for a character, talk about the Bill of Rights. Search for some information on the American Bill of Rights. Okay. Try to find 2 or 3 of Marcus's rights that have been violated. Explain below in 2 paragraphs which rights were violated and how. If this assignment doesn't seem Canadian enough, please check out the next page. Chapter 4, even more research. Now that you've seen which of Marcus's rights were violated, because obviously he lives in California, it is the American rights there, let's see if he would have had the same rights in Canada. Look up the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms and explain how Marcus's treatment in Chapter 4 would have violated any Canadian rights. You might particularly want to look at rights 2, 7 to 13. Okay? So, this is a little bit more detailed. This is where we might need to spend some time going over some feedback to get it right. Again, looking at mostly completion mark, getting a sense of your ability to research, to connect to other documents. It's really try and do what you can to try to get it as best you can. So I've intentionally left the American Bill of Rights not in the classroom because I would like to see your skill around using Google to source it out. Okay, but I have put the Charter of Rights Canada here at the top of the classroom. Okay. So the Charter of Rights I've given to you. Again, it gives you the list of which ones to look at. Okay. So if we click on it. Okay. Okay. So it said Section 2, freedom of religion, freedom of expression, freedom of peaceful assembly, freedom of association. Okay. Mobility rights, life, liberty, and security of the person, search and seizure, arbitrary detention, right to be informed of reasons for detention or arrest, right to a lawyer, and so on. Okay. If there are words in here that are legalese that you're having a hard time pulling apart, you're going to be faced with hard words your whole life. Okay. Every year there's going to be more that come into your life all the time. You need to get comfortable with the ability to look it up and check. Okay? I'm not expecting you to list off all of the ones. So, for example, if you really don't want to go into habeas corpus, for example, okay, then don't go into it. Instead, focus on freedom of association or freedom of peaceful assembly or whatever. Okay? You don't need to list off all of them that are violated because most of them are, truth be told. So just look for a couple that you can refer to. Okay? All right. So, double checking the work here for assigned. You have your Dear Basketball. You have to read chapters 3 and 4 or listen to chapters 3 or 4 of Little Brother and do your summaries, which I will check to make sure that that file is functioning properly once I'm done my live stream. Little Brothers chapters 3 and 4. Again, chapter 3 is due today. Chapter 4 is due tomorrow. Practice test. Again, send me a note if you need to finish going through and trying it out. And then pick 2 grammar sheets of your own for today. Google Meet at 2 o'clock. And overall, just keep picking away at the course and keep sending me messages. You guys are keeping me busy, and I like that. Okay? Good morning, Talon. So if you haven't yet said hello in the chat to note your attendance, please do so. I am going to just be doing my attendance right now. If you're ready to head off to your workday, please do so. Because otherwise, I've got nothing more to share. So I hope you have a great day. I hope you get lots of work done. The course is going to be busy, but I'm proud of all of you. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Thank you for sending me a note just so I can check you off. Glad to see that some people who are having difficulty with getting into the chat yesterday seem to have sorted out their issues. Otherwise, you may head off to your work. Okay. All right. So Regan, I see. Sienna, I am pretty sure I saw. Yes, I did. Madeline. Yes, I do. CJ sent me a note this morning already. Tim, I don't see. Marley. Do I see you here, Marley? I do not see Marley's name in the chat. Marley, if you're out there, can you... Oh, yes, I do. Never mind, I'm lying. I saw you. Good morning. Bailey is there. Tim's smiley face icon I saw. Miguel. Yes, Miguel is here. Cameron, I see. Jordan, I see. Brooke, I'm pretty sure I saw. Yes, Brooke, I see. Charlie, I'm pretty sure was there right at the very beginning. Yep, Charlie's there. Sarah, I saw just come in there at the end. Zach just came in there at the end. Grace said bye, thank you, because Grace has nice manners. Mason sent me a good morning. Lila, I see. Ronak already sent me a message this morning too. Ryan. I don't see in the chat. Ryan, if you're out there, Ryan S., please say good morning in the chat. Talon, I see, and Morgan, I heard from this morning. Okay, perfect. So, of course, any last-minute issues, please send me a note along. Edsby, email, private message on a Google thing. I think we're getting into a good communication routine. I hope you're enjoying the course. I'm obviously around anytime that you need it, as long as I am not in the middle of helping a grade 2 do math. But overall, don't forget that Miss McKellar is also available in the morning, and we'll see how it goes. Okay. So overall, have a good day. Stay dry if you're thinking about going out for a walk, and see you later.